In this video, we're gonna talk about my favorite of this year, my favorite niche fragrances. They're gonna be classified in different category. That doesn't mean anything. This is Clémence, I talk about fragrance. Welcome back. Fragrance I'm going to talk about today are not my favorite of all time. You have plenty of video for this. I really wanted to focus on new discovery of this year. Evening wear, party fragrances. I want to impress, big sillage, Oud Cadenza by Maison Crivelli. And I wish I could hate it because I feel like the Maison Crivelli, that's a personal point of view, but I feel that they have a huge marketing, communication and stuff like this, and sometimes it feels not really genuine. They're very successful, which I understand why, because of the fragrance that feels really timeless. Usually the depth is beautiful and they're really working. They're not all the time the most creative. That's the only thing I'm gonna say. I first sprayed it on a blotter, a paper, and it gave me a lot of cinnamon, but too much, you know, and I was like, oh, it's maybe a bit cloying. And actually with the time, like on the skin, it's so different. It's actually more woodier, creamier. Oh my god, I love it. The oud is not animalic. It's really pleasant, and I feel that the whole oud collection of Crivelli is really pleasant. So that is definitely my favorite to go out. Dinner date, I went to a fancy event, I wore my Oud Cadenza, even though it was for another brand, oops, but whatever. Jusbox 54, that's the collaboration with the Perfume guy. I don't know this guy much, you know, Sebastian, I've seen him twice, I think, like once he didn't recognize me and he was like, who are you? And I was like, okay. No problem, no one, you know? And the second time, it was for the event of his fragrance where I just wanted to congratulate him because I really like the fragrances and stuff like this. So it was really nice, like nothing to say. One of the kind of notes that I always enjoyed is patchouli. And this is a really full-on heavy patchouli. There's one thing I love as well is a little bit of retro vibe. I have a huge passion for 60s, 70s kind of scent and also era. I love that era overall for a lover of psychedelic rock. You know, I like to find this vibe in my fragrance. Exactly like this. It's like you're in a nightclub, you're smoking a cigar, and you have this pina colada creaminess to it, and then it's chocolate and heavy patchouli, you know, this wet soil, a bit tobacco-like kind of smell, dirty, kind of sexy kind of fragrance, but a bit modernized because the chocolate note modernizes. So, and it kind of made me think of Reminiscence, you know, this kind of heavy patchouli. You know, they have a fragrance called patchouli, but maybe less chocolatey than this. I don't think everyone's gonna like that because it's really unapologetic. Next category is for the cold days, so winter if you prefer. Granado, Fervo, Intenso. Granado is a Brazilian brand I've been talking about it for quite a while now. If you're looking for fragrances that make sense in terms of prices, in terms of formulation, you're going to be very happy with Granado. They have eau de toilette that are super, not cheap, but you know, super affordable. I actually interviewed the perfumer, Benoît Lapouza, that is the perfumer of Angel Share. So a lot of people find similarities with Angel Share. I am finding similarities as well. But Fervo Intenso for me feels a little bit sweeter and smoother than, for example, Angel Share. And you have that cachaça accord, so slightly cocktail-like, that is really, I would say, emblematic in Brazil. So I love that note. The cacao is beautiful, a bit of myrrh, so slightly resinous. It's super smooth, really. Opens with pomelo notes, like that's definitely one of my favorite. And I would say, compared to, for example, the two first one I showed you, it's really easy to wear. It's super warm, super comforting. I love it to wear it when it's a bit cold, but even for daytime, like any occasion works. It's not too sweet, you know, so it's beautiful. My clean work focus kind of fragrance has to be Lorchestre Parfum Mono Cachemire. I love this fragrance brand since the beginning of my channel, really. You know, we arriving to right after the middle of it, and it's quite rare. If you have a job in front of a computer and you need to focus, but sometimes when you wear fragrances that are really heavy or have something a bit too special, it really distracts your attention. And I find that Mono Cachemire was just the best for this. But basically, it's a bit of pear, but not too strong fruity notes. And then you have the clean musk, white linen bedsheet, ambrette marshmallow, so very musky, a bit of iris, so it feels powdery, you know, in a dry down, and it stays beautifully on me. Obviously, it's not the biggest sillage because it stays close to the skin, but this is what I like. It feels like a textile, like I'm wearing a cashmere jumper, a bit of aldehyde, so it feels a bit fizzy. Next is my sophisticated and elegant pick, Floris. Obviously, one brand that I love since forever as well. And it's called Cherry Blossom Intense. Soapy. I am a lover of cherry blossoms. So next is the best vanilla of the year. For me, it's Vanille des Afriques by Ormonde Jayne. That is a classic, I would say, sophisticated brand from the UK. I love this vanilla because it's a real vanilla. And it feels more natural than usual vanillin that you have in fragrances, or sweet vanilla or gourmand vanilla. It doesn't really feel gourmand that much, you know. It's blended with orris butter, so the iris roots, so it feels kind of oily, buttery, and I absolutely love this texture. When you manage to give a texture to a fragrance, for me it's always a hit. It has a little bit of an animalic tone, there's a bit of oud, but it's not overpowering. If you love like your sweet gourmand vanilla, fair enough, so maybe you're not gonna like this, but for me it's just one of the most beautiful and real vanilla I've ever smelled. I loved it. I loved it that much I've put it in my Jovoy box this year. So yeah. Next category is another olfactive category. Actually, it's not an official one, but for me, it should definitely be an official olfactive family, and it's the gourmand one, the Cirque du Soleil. So they gifted to me that fragrances, and I didn't even know I was sent that fragrances. And I remember when I first opened the packaging, I saw it was something from the Lord of the Ring or whatever. Imagining the circus, so I was imagining like maybe like popcorn. And it's exactly like that. It's that sugared apple, you know. I don't know how, I forgot the name, how you call that. Anyway, sorry. And popcorn. Yeah, and a lot of salted caramel to it. And it's really nicely done. Like, obviously, like, you know, there's a lot of synthetic things because to do some gourmand, you do synthetic. But it's weird because there's a beautiful, realistic tone to it. It doesn't feel extremely sugary for being sugary, you know, synthetic like this, like a crap, you know. Like, this fragrance has really something that has nice depth to it. And it's very authentic. Oh my god, the juicy apple blended with this buttery popcorn and salted caramel is something I've never smelled before. A comforting fragrances. Suffering from anxiety, I always need something that feels like a cuddle to me. Neroli Hasbaya from Atelier Materi. I love this brand, obviously, but like they released like few extracts. Was not too keen of the amber one. Anyway, I did like a full review on that, but that one is absolutely incredible. I love Neroli fragrance because Neroli, you know, it's a blend of the orange and the flower, so well, it smells in between those smells, you know. Sometimes I smell a bit like baby powder smell, and it's the kind of smell that I love to wear during daytime. There's a trend nowadays of doing so many extracts, and I'm always like, you know, like but this has really like, you can smell the rich density of the extract, you know. And the Neroli, it's very orangey, nearly like orange blossom at the beginning. And then you smell pistachio. And it feels a bit gourmand. Nutty, but you know, nutty pistachio way. Oh my god, like, it's just so creamy, so round, so oily, and the pistachio, you want to eat it slightly, but it doesn't feel like a gourmand because it's really nicely composed with the original. In fresh and between warm and comforting and cuddle. This fragrance is just a cuddle. It feels like a cuddle, like you know, like you want to get super close and just sleep, you know. Next is the masculine category. So I really wanted to give you like an option that is very masculine like, and for all year long, like something that you can take as a dump rich, even though it's not a dump rich, but you know what I mean. Bois Imperial Extrait. affordable fragrances for niche, you know, but that really makes sense in terms of the quality of the scent and what you're smelling and how much you're paying. I highly recommend you the brand Essentiel Parfum. They're quite simple most of the time, but they do the job, and it's kind of something that is going to be timeless. Bois Imperial is like basically like the classic one feels like more like a classic woody kind of fragrance with a little bit of a character seriousness to it. Very serious actually. When I smell it, I smell like a tie and you know, a suit, classic, you know, like it's very serious. Or even just for every day, you know, whatever. But there's a character to it that feels serious to me. Serious masculine vibe. Well, the extract is divine, and definitely it's like you took the Bois Imperial Classic and you've put it on huge steroid. The first thing that you smell is like an explosion or something super fizzy, and it's the pink pepper that is really blossoming. Usually it's great to give that sparkling effect to a fragrance and you really smell it. Slightly aromatic, but basically less. I think the classic Bois Imperial has more like this basil kind of fresh aromatic note, whereas here like you focus more on still aromatic but more richer, more woodier with fur, for example. A little bit of a leathery tone with the labdanum. I need to talk about some atypical choice. I didn't know how to call that category without calling it weird, or maybe we can call it the rhubarb category, because the two fragrances that I chose are rhubarb fragrance. Nez from the brand, and the name of the fragrance is Delight. Super fruity scent with rhubarb especially. You know this kind of smell that you can smell in aromatherapy or yoga or in a spa. Sandal, woody, you know, smoky tones. Really something that makes me think also of the Papier d'Arménie. I don't know if you know the name, but extremely therapeutic. Absolutely love it. Second one, it's also a little bit of a rhubarb scent, but more aromatic. It's Marc-Antoine Barrois Encelade. As soon as I smelled that, I was like, oof, love it. It feels like woody, aromatic. Maybe it's a bit more masculine, you know, but I don't know why. I really love it on me. It's got really something special that I've never smelled somewhere as well. The green touch of the rhubarb is to die for. I would say compared to, for example, Nez, this feels more earthy, and that's why maybe it smells a bit more masculine, because the vetiver is really strong, you know, dry, earthy, soil-like. I can really smell the leather touch in that fragrance, but it's still quite airy. Next, in terms of oil, I need to talk, of course, of Croissant Café from Versatile. If you're looking for oil fragrances and you want it to be exactly like a composition of a fragrance, head note, heart note, and base note, you need to try Versatile. They're very affordable scent. I don't think I've paid more than 60 euros when I bought the fragrance, and I bought the discovery set with it. Croissant Café is the gourmand touch of a croissant and a little bit of a coffee note. I would say it's more like skin scent. It's more discreet. I like to layer it. I always have one in my bag, but the best summer choice I had was Wavechild by Room 101. It's pretty simple. A lot of people said that it smells like a synthetic or whatever. Yeah, it does. What do you expect? It's fruity. Fruity scent is not, you don't really get it naturally, most of them at least, you know. Like a melon candy with a little bit of seaside coast smell. I love this kind of scent. I think they're very easy, but that was definitely my favorite of this year. So yeah, that was a huge crush, very unisex as well. For the feminine category, all year long versatile, I have to give a big love to Coty Hors de Moi. It reminds me a little bit of a Dior J'adore vibe. You know, there's a bit of a glamorous retro feel. It's a tuberose, and God knows how much I've been repulsed by tuberose this past year. I think sometimes it smells a bit plasticky and I don't really like it. But treated like this, I think there's a little bit of aldehydes to it, like it feels a bit fizzy, retro-like, and I love this type of scent. For me, it's my stuff, you know, I'm a lover of number 5, so this kind of fragrance, you know, I love this. It's that fragrance where I'm wearing it and I feel really confident. One last category, and it's actually talking about retro. I'm gonna talk about vintage scent. Vintage but still new. It's a bit strange. It's a very old brand, Officine Universelle Bully. The bottles are just stunning. As you can see, it's It's insane. This is the oil and this is the fragrance. They're water-based, and that it could be a great option for you if you're sensitive, your skin is sensitive, you want a water-based fragrance, and you're also not this kind of person to wear like a intoxicating scent. You want something close to the skin, maybe for office. Oh, it gives me like a Rome antique kind of smell. I have to say, I'm absolutely in love. The one I have here is the Eau Triple Myrrhe d'Érythrée. This is a myrrh scent, so it feels really nice, but it's super fresh. It's extremely light. It's not here like to stay for a while. It stays close to the skin. But it's really funny because when you spray it, you can really see that it's water-based. It feels nearly like you're spraying a little bit of a water drop to you. It's very refreshing, actually. It's a very old-fashioned way to wear fragrances. The myrrh feels a little bit sweet as well. You know, there's something like a bit like resinous and sweet. When I went to the decanter in Selfridges, like I was just mind blown by how beautiful. It looks like an old You understood? My house is kind of inspired by Baroque, you know, so I have a lot of those golden stuff. This is really things that I, well, obviously like to have in my house. So imagine my face when I saw this boutique. I was like, I need it all. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you watch this until the end, you can write in the comment New Year, because it's going to be New Year soon. And I cannot wait to end this year. You know, this is my best time of the year where I'm just like, you know, fuck it, you know. I can do everything wrong until the end of the year, because in a few weeks it's next year. So I could say, New Year, new me. I wish you a lovely day and see you soon. Bye now.